Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett, and we want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following here on your Saturday. We have our reporters and our crews well spread out to give you all of the latest information tonight. Keep in mind, you can join us on air at 10 and 11. 10 o'clock, you can join us on Peachtree TV, and at 11, you can join us on CBS. And, of course, you can always tune in to the latest on AtlantaNewsFirst.com as well as our app. We certainly want to keep you updated wherever you are and however you're consuming news. Keep in mind, First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin is going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes. I know it was kind of a chilly day, a drizzly day, but he does tell me that we have better news on the way. So a little tease there, but you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And of course, his full forecast later on tonight, again at 10 and 11 on Atlanta News First. So one of the stories that we want to start with is this news that we have been following all day. We've been following it since this morning. A massive apartment fire burning at the La Vista Park neighborhood. And we just continue to get a little bit more information each time. Atlanta News First anchor Tori Cooper brought you the news that 2 people had been arrested in connection to this fire happening. I want to show you now some new images that we have here. These were taken by reporter Joshua Skinner. This gives us kind of a bird's eye view, and you can see just how bad this damage is. I'm going to go through some of these. I mean, this is definitely devastating to see. I'll try to zoom in a little bit here so you can get a better look. But just really unbelievable images here. And again, we can see just how devastating this fire was. It burned for at least 10 hours. This is near the La Vista Park neighborhood. It left residents standing outside in the rain and the cold this morning. And according to the Atlanta Police Department, officers responded to that fire at 1155 La Vista Road. That was around 10:30 this morning. As you can see, it started there on the roof. The apartment is called Reserve at La Vista Walk. And Atlanta Fire Rescue says the building was evacuated actually around 11:30 on Friday. So police say their preliminary investigation suggests that the fire may have started due to fireworks being set off of the building's roof. So 2 people, as Tori told you, were arrested for that in relation to those crimes. Robert Stokes, as well as Charnel Gunn, and they're facing charges of first-degree criminal damage to property, as well as reckless conduct. So investigators say that they were on the roof, what was once the roof of this apartment building, setting off fireworks, and investigators, at least in their preliminary investigation, have determined that that is likely the cause of this fire. Here's a third image for you here. Again, these are courtesy of reporter Joshua Skinner, and you just look at pictures like this, and it just doesn't even look real, but this gives us a really maybe better perspective of just how widespread this fire was and just how damaging it was. We know that it was about 28 people that the Red Cross says were displaced and that they are having to assist. And they say there was major damage, which, as you can see, really needless to say there. So we're going to continue to stay on top of this news, as well as any other potential charges that the 2 may be facing. But right now, we do know that there is a very long cleanup effort ahead, a very long road to recovery, as people now 28 people don't have home anymore tonight. So, like I said, we're going to stay on top of this news. Reporter Asia Wilson will be reporting live from the scene and giving us more information tonight at 10 and 11 on Atlanta News First. All right, I want to take you back out here live, and actually I'm going to direct us to our website. You may have gotten this notification as a push alert if you have the Atlanta News First app. If you don't have the Atlanta News First app, you might want to go ahead and download it now because you get those breaking news updates and weather updates sent directly to your phone, and this was one of them. But a man was fatally shot by SWAT officers in Hall County. Going to pull up our web story here. Just so you can get an idea of, if you want to read more about it, or really any other story, you can always go to our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. But what we do know is that the Hall County Sheriff's Office say deputies shot a man after he allegedly fired multiple rounds, pointing his weapon at them during a standoff in a Flowery Branch neighborhood. And the Sheriff's Office said it happened early this morning, around 6:45 in the morning. A woman had contacted 911 on the 6500 block of Samoa Way to report an assault. And the police investigation indicated the suspect pushed a victim downstairs, resulting in multiple injuries. This is a quote from the Hall County Sheriff's Office saying the suspect, who was armed with a handgun, also refused to allow the victim to leave the residence for a time. Eventually, she was able to flee the residence and take refuge at a neighbor's house. After more than 2 hours of failed attempts to talk to the suspect, Hall County Sheriff's Office commanders made the decision to call SWAT to negotiate. And deputies say as those negotiations continued, the man became even more agitated. He eventually came out of the house unclothed, wielding a handgun, and fired several shots outside of the home. And when he noticed SWAT officers, according to investigators, he aimed his gun at them. And that is what led to 2 SWAT officers firing their guns. And that happened just before noon today. So the man was shot and killed. This happened in Hall County, where investigators were responding to a home in which the victim said that the suspect had pushed her down the stairs. And that is what resulted in her calling 911, bringing the Hall County Sheriff's Office out there. And after, they say, unsuccessful attempts to try to negotiate with him, that's when they brought in the SWAT team. And that is what ultimately resulted in him being shot and killed. Now, we do know that the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is looking into this shooting. That is protocol when it comes to any officer-involved shooting. So they will be taking over the investigation from here to look into the officer shooting component of this case. Now, I want to take you back out here now to talk about the fact that it is Veterans Day. And for all of you who are watching, we so appreciate your service today and really every day. I know my granny, my granddaddy, my grandfather, thinking of all of them. They've all served our nation in the Navy, in the Army, in the Marines. So for those of you who are watching, we greatly appreciate your service. You may know our evening anchor, Sean Gables. She is a veteran. She served in the Army Reserves. And our reporter, Joshua Skinner, he's a veteran himself. He served in the Navy. So we're very proud to have them on the team, of course. And we know that many of you all may be enjoying perhaps a holiday weekend, but let's remember why we're celebrating and honoring those who serve our country. And on that note, talking about the weekend and possible weekend plans, let's go ahead and take a look at those temperatures, because my goodness, it was a shock to the system, at least to me today when I was walking outside. We have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin joining us now. He's going to tell us about how long this weather is going to stick around. Cutter.
Yeah, I think slow improvement. We'll call it a seasonable week. Temperatures, right up to average, maybe just above at times. And then as you can see in that 7-day temperature trend, at times cooler than average. So that 56 tomorrow, that's cooler than average. Today's around 50-degree afternoon temperature, cooler than average. And again, as we get into the middle of the work week and we potentially track another system approaching North Georgia and metro Atlanta, again, along with the clouds and that increasing chance of rain, cooler than average temperatures back in the First Alert forecast. I want to say hey and thank you to folks watching across all platforms, Roku, Amazon Fire, the Atlanta News First app, First Alert weather app as well. And hello to Wesley Millsap watching on YouTube. Atlanta News First is the account to like and follow. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, we'll be addressing those there. But again, you can get the forecast on any platform, even outside of news time. My name is Cutter Martin, meteorologist here at Atlanta News First. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be talking weather here. We do have a little bit of good news, kind of a good trend in the forecast over the past 24 hours. Tomorrow, while still chilly, cool to chilly, temperatures in the 50s for the most part, trending. The forecast, that is, trending just a bit drier. Before we get into tomorrow, though, let's talk about what's happening outside this evening across the metro, across North Georgia, and we're going to start with radar because the steadiest of the rain has moved out, but we still are tracking some moisture. If you had dinner plans this evening, maybe coming in from those, maybe you're heading out to dinner plans right now. Still some light to moderate showers moving through, and even outside of where radar is detecting the green or where rain is falling, there is still some drizzle. Some of these very low clouds, just a few hundred feet off at the surface, they're sneaking in underneath the radar beam, and they're still producing drizzle, even if it's not technically detected by radar. Right now, steadies of the rain into southern DeKalb County, Panthersville, over to Redan, the Lithonia area. Steady drizzle to light rain, Gwinnett County near Lawrenceville, up further up 85 here. Barrow County near Widener, north end of the county, some sprinkles. Hall County, Lake Lanier, seeing some rain. Maysville over to Sandy Cross, much of Banks County, seeing steady light to moderate rain. Though as we look off to the west, notice how not much redeveloping. I think this is kind of the last kind of gasp of rain, at least steady puddle-making rain across the area this evening. There will still be some drizzle tonight and a few more pop-up showers possibly tomorrow. But in general, this is kind of the last shot at some steadier rain across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. So we're going to be watching this forecast here pretty closely. Let's go ahead and start diving into tomorrow. And again, if you do have any other questions, comments, concerns, you need clarification on the forecast, Atlanta News First on YouTube is the account to like and to follow. We have dropped the first alert for tomorrow. That is, of course, good news. We will still have some moisture around tonight into tomorrow morning. Here is the hour-by-hour forecast. Plan on wet roadways and chilly temperatures, 20 to 30% chance of rain over the area tonight, and even around that, there could be some drizzle. Let's start tomorrow morning, 6, 7 a.m. We'll wake up to clouds, gloom, drizzle, and maybe some patchy light rain showers. But in general, again, going forward in time, here we are, 6 a.m. Yes, there's some rain around, temperatures in the upper 40s to near 50. A gloomy start to the day. Much like how we spent our Saturday, that's what we will wake up to tomorrow. But then pretty quickly, here we are at noon. We're dried out. Still lots of clouds, lots of gloom out there. Temperatures in the upper 40s. In some places still by noon tomorrow, lower 50s elsewhere. But watch what happens as we get into tomorrow afternoon. And also notice at noon, lunchtime on your Sunday, mountain communities, northwest and northeast Georgia, warmer than the city of Atlanta because they're already seeing a little bit more sunshine. They're not seeing as much moisture. Middle of tomorrow afternoon, Blue Ridge at 60, Rome 60, upper 50s Atlanta, low to mid 50s, I think a little bit more common south of town, south of I-20 down into middle Georgia, the Macon area, though they could manage upper 50s, but clouds will be just a little bit more stubborn, a little harder to lift south of I-20, and that's why I think temperatures could actually be cooler there, with some of the mildest temperatures, lower 60s possibly in spots, especially northwest and north of Metro Atlanta, on up into the mountains. Into tomorrow evening, we'll still call it mostly cloudy. It's not going to clear out completely. There's not going to be a ton of sunshine, but peaks of sun possible tomorrow. And with a little bit more clearing Sunday night and Monday, temperatures out the door Monday morning could be just a little bit cooler. But again, there will be some clouds around, quite a bit of cloud cover actually. Notice Clayton, 39, 40 Blue Ridge, 42 Lawrenceville, 44 Dallas. They are a little drier. And some peaks of clearing, allowing for a chillier Sunday night into Monday morning. And then Monday, again, rounds of clouds, but also some sunshine with temperatures shooting back up into the 60s on our Monday afternoon. A nice start to the work week. And here is that work week, that 7-day first alert forecast. Monday, dry day, mid-60s. Clouds really trying to build back in, though we don't completely get rid of them. But they're moving back and increasing Tuesday. For now, we'll keep the first alert Wednesday, though data today trending a little further south with that next storm system. May keep the widespread rain to our south, but we're eyeing it for you. And then Thursday, rain tapers off. We get back into a little bit more sunshine. Next front approaches Saturday. That'll really help clear us out. Also bring in a fresh batch of some cooler air. Nothing crazy, but another round of cooler air back in the first alert forecast as we head into about this time next weekend with hopefully, if the plan stays and everything goes right, with much more sunshine in the forecast next weekend. I want to thank you for tuning in and for watching. I want to remind you as well, latest news headlines, complete check of the first alert forecast. Back your way again, Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate, starting at 10 p.m. And then the entire crew back for the late news, 11 p.m. on WANF, Atlanta News First, for that final check of the forecast. And with the time change, some of that new data coming in even earlier to the First Alert Weather Center, so we may be able to tweak that forecast, give you the first alert, the latest information even earlier as that data comes in to the Weather Center. So stay tuned, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And a reminder, you can always get the forecast at atlantanewsfirst.com and in the First Alert Weather app. We'll end it with another peek at that 7-day forecast. Have yourself a warm evening, a great Sunday, and a good work week ahead.